All right, Aloha Love Tribe. Guess what? We have a super mom here with us today. But before I introduce her, let's everybody take a giant inhale together and get in our bodies. All right. So, my guest is the founder of a beautiful organization and movement called Give My Day. She empowers young people to open up their hearts on their birthdays or special occasions to give part of their day to others in need around the world. And she is fabulous that she's trying to really inspire these young people to take action and make a difference in the world, because what we talk about is all these little simple things that we do add up to great impact on the planet. So my guest is Brooke Hill. Thanks so much, Brooke, for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor, and I love what you're doing with supporting the Sustainable Development Goals and just figuring out what really speaks to your heart and doing something about it. And that's exactly what we're doing with Give My Day. So I feel like there's a lot of synergy between us.
And so can you share with our Love Tribe, like how does Give My Day work, and how is it different from, doing an online campaign on Facebook? I know I see a lot of people doing like, okay, donate to my, favorite charity on Facebook, and how that started for you.
Right. I think that as parents, we all want to raise kind children who believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And Give My Day is really an opportunity to kind of practice that. It's talking as a family about why it's important to give back to others and what causes we care about, and starting that conversation. And then it's giving kids the opportunity to realize that they can do something simple, like saying, for my birthday, I don't want presents, I want donations to a cause, and realizing that their actions have an impact, and they really do have the ability to make a difference in their world. And so I think it's very much of a family experience,
Mm.
and it's a lot of times people don't take kids seriously and think that they really can have a big impact. But there's a huge opportunity, and there's a lot of research that says that kids who get involved with giving early and learning about generosity are more likely to be generous through all of their lives. And I just see a huge opportunity to like raise this generation of kind and empowered kids that believe they can change the world.
Totally. And, you know, I really think getting them to that belief system, because I know a lot of us right now, including myself and my kids, certainly when we see social media or we see the news, oh my God, we get like overwhelmed, and then we're like, dude, we're fucked. So why bother,
Right.
And
Right.
that's obviously this media machine it's feeding negativity. And so I love what you're doing is feeding the positivity,
Right.
not just with talk, but with action, and
Right.
giving them real world situations where they can make a difference. How do you overcome uh, an objection from a child that is like, but I really need that Lego set, or I really
Right.
need that makeup kit, or whatever the thing is that they think they want
Right.
that they've already got 20 of,
Right.
especially we're in Boulder, Colorado, which is extremely, affluent and well, we have a lot of privilege here and a lot of access to resources. And so
Right.
how do we get all the kids, to embrace like, hey, just for, I don't need that extra little thing. I want to share.
Right. Well, I think one, it's about modeling it to them, modeling kindness and modeling giving back and volunteering and things like that. But it's about finding what do they care about?
Yeah.
Because if it's something that they care about, they'll be more willing to take action. And I think it's talking to them about the fact that you're not giving, let's say it's a birthday, you're not giving up your birthday. It's not like we're not having a party and there won't be cake and your friends will still be there to celebrate with you. And maybe even, as parents, we give them gifts.
Yeah.
It's just saying that, maybe I don't need all the things. I can choose to share my day and make a big difference on the planet, on someone else's life. And I have so many things, and helping them recognize that, because I like my kids, I don't think they have a clue how lucky they are, and it's a good opportunity to open that conversation up with them.
Totally. I love that. And so what difference has it made for your children? You've got two children. And
Hmm.
so how have their lives changed because they've gotten to participate in this beautiful movement with you?
There were two moments when they were, so my daughter is 6 and my son's 3.5. And the moment just happened with my son. And it happened, I think, when my daughter was around 4. Um, I was driving her to preschool, and she loved preschool, and she never said she didn't want to go. So I don't know what was going on this day, but she said, "Mommy, I don't want to go to school today." And I started naming off all of her friends that go to school to try to, make her feel better about it. And I said, everybody goes to school. And she said, "Well, no, Mom, they don't. That's why we're raising money to send kids to school."
Oh,
She was about 4. Um, and then my son, who's 3.5, there's always a fight when we find change about whose piggy bank it goes into. And I don't know what his sister was doing. She wasn't around, but he found some change on the counter, and I thought he was going to ask, "Can I put it in my piggy bank?" And he picks it up and he goes, "Mom, can we send kids to school with this money?" And like those two things just made me realize that from such an early age, these, like, they are internalizing the fact that, one, not everyone's as lucky as we are, and two, they can do something about it. Like, they can make a change.
totally.
So, I mean, those two are the two that come to mind. But my daughter just turned 6 in June, and she raised enough money to educate 10 kids for an entire year.
No
Yeah,
way. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So
And
that's
so
super cool.
how is she feeling? I mean, I would imagine she's got a lot of joy and pride and yumminess in her soul around that. Like is she like, oh, I
I
want to do
think,
more? Or is she like, I'm
yes,
done,
and
I'm
I
cool?
think it's empowering. It's like, I want to do more. And so our family chose Pencils of Promise as the organization that we're doing. And I think as the kids get older, if their hearts are drawn to different causes, they can decide that. Um, but that's what we've done for now. And so over the past few years, they've raised enough money to educate almost 100 kids for a year,
Wow.
just from
Oh,
birthday parties. And it's great because, I mean, selfishly as a parent, then we're not getting all of this junk that we don't need,
totally.
because
Oh my
that
God.
struggle is real. The stuff struggle with kids is real. um, and I think also for guests, it's easy. They don't have to go to Target and buy wrapping paper. That's better for the planet, right?
Yep.
And they feel good about it. And often people say no gifts, and then, do they really mean no gifts? What if I show up empty-handed and other people
Totally.
bring gifts? And like, this is just kind of an easy way around that.
It's such a cool way. And so how do you celebrate the success? Like, do you have like a little measuring stick with Give My Day? I've got the thermometers, like we've done all these things. Like, do you have something like that people, the kids and your organization can kind of track and be
Yeah.
stoked
So
about?
there's a sort of funding ticker that shows you how close you are to reaching your goal. And the comments that guests write, I think, are really encouraging.
Cool.
And so reading that to them and being like, "Hey, so and so is so proud of you because you're doing this, and here's what this friend said." And then at the end of a fundraising campaign, we also send the kids an impact certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tie that to, for example, with Pencils of Promise, the $787 that you raised was enough to educate 10 kids for a whole year. And I think
Oh
that
my
helps make it a little bit more tangible,
God.
because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes money can be a little bit obscure for kids. But knowing, hey, like, we just had a campaign launch today where um, the kid wants to adopt cheetahs. So it's, through the World Wildlife Fund, it's $55 to adopt a cheetah. So his goal is, like, he's trying to raise enough to adopt 4 cheetahs. So kind of giving them that more tangible tie to, here is what your impact actually was.
Totally. And I think that's so important just for any of us, whether we're an adult or a child, because you think like, okay, here's my donation. Like, did it go off into
Right,
donation land? Like what
right,
actually is happening or happened
right.
because of this action that we got to take? I really resonate with what you said earlier about people not taking kids seriously enough,
Mhm.
which obviously gives them that impression to not take themselves serious enough to make a big difference on the planet. Dear friend of mine who actually introduced me to the SDGs. Her name's Heidi Kupari, and she runs an organization called Dream Tank, and it's
Mhm.
for social entrepreneurship for kids. So that she does
Mhm.
accelerators and teaches kids about that. But she's like, you guys remind me of each other. I call her the Lorax for the kids because she really speaks for their empowerment and their voices because they're these little geniuses,
Right.
and it's like if we
Right.
give them the platforms to take action and make a difference and feel good about themselves and have that feedback loop of like, yeah,
Yes.
look, you are making a difference. Like these things that you're doing they matter.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it's going to shape them for the future. And I mean, they're the ones who are going to be changing our diapers. So we want them to be rocking and rolling. But no, for real, it's so important though. And I love, love, love what you're doing. And I want to circle back really quick too. Just, I remember on our initial call that we had, I had asked you, I'm like, well, why do this project? Because everybody can just go on Facebook and make this thing. So
Right.
why not just do it on Facebook? And I remember your answer. I just want you to share it with the
Yeah,
audience.
I mean, I think because it's really what we're trying to build is like a movement and a community of families and kids who are coming together to change the world. And I think that by believing in kids and their ability to do this and having this be the space where they can do it, it really lifts them up and empowers them a lot more to be able to do it.
Totally. And obviously most kids, especially your 6-year-old, doesn't have a Facebook account.
True. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
she can't do that with her friends for her birthday party. And so that was a great understanding for me because at first I was like, oh, everyone's doing it over here. Why
Right.
bother?
Well, and we
But I
believe
totally
like
get
the
it.
campaign pages are super kid friendly and kind of fun, and the kid can write as they're setting up their fundraiser, they can write a little thank you message to donors about, why this cause was important to them, and each donor gets that. So it's a very personal thing, and you really can bring kids and families into it. And again, I think it's just having a safe space where this is for kids.
I love that. And it does feel super safe. And obviously having that network and you get excited and pumped up and you're like, oh, they did that for their thing. Oh, maybe I'll do that for my next birthday or,
Right.
Your mitzvahs or any of the things that people are celebrating, and I just think it's genius. I love it.
Thank you.
And I want to help you get this around the world because
Thank
it's
you.
going to make huge differences, and it already is. So with what we're up to, a couple things. So your song of the week that you chose.
Hmm.
Why don't you tell everybody what it is and why?
So it's unwritten, and the reason is I love it's all about empowering, right? Like you have this empty book, the pen is in your hand. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. It's just kind of about like seizing those opportunities, deciding what you care about, and taking action, which
Yeah,
is exactly the purpose of Give My Day.
totally. And how has music influenced your vibe and your life? Like how has like listening to this particular song, like what happens to you when you hear this song?
It just kind of inspires me to want to do more and reach for more and, take that leap and keep pushing and, just to believe in yourself and believe that you really can create your own destiny.
Totally. I love it.
Yeah.
Yay. I love music.
Hmm.
Okay. And then, so here with Dance Our Dreams, we are aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And so each week, the idea is we want to educate our audience about the Sustainable Development Goals and give them some inspiration, information, and education to make a choice like what do I align my big dream with that's on the big dream of the planet? And so, what did you choose for this week?
For me, it's education because it's, I think, just such a cornerstone. Being educated can lift a whole community out of poverty. It sort of starts with that. And I think so many of the issues that are going on in our world are kind of due to a lack of education and openness.
Yeah.
And the more that we educate people, even about things like it's important to be kind and give back,
Yeah.
the more we're going to just like lift our whole community up.
Totally. I know. It's like I think of education. I mean, they're all equally, I think, valuable in their own right, but it's
Hmm.
like I want to live next to educated people and I want to live next to healthy people,
Right.
because that creates a good, thriving community. It's like such a
Right.
baseline, right? And
Right.
so,
And they really often go hand in hand, especially in third world countries. A lot of the education organizations are putting in sanitation programs because, girls can't attend school if they are on their menstrual cycle. And, if their hands aren't properly washed, they're getting sick and then they're missing school. And so it's actually all really interconnected.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, I love it. This is so good. All right. So our 7-day experiment. So every week at Dance Our Dreams, we do just a mini experiment for everybody to try a little micro hack to see how this can affect and influence your life. So what did you choose for this week's 7-day experiment?
Right.
I love
So
this one.
if you have kids, you can do this with your kids. If you don't, you can do it on your own. You can do it all together as a family. But just sitting there, maybe at the breakfast table, and saying, what can I do to make the world a better place today? Like, what can I do to change the world today?
Oh,
And maybe that is giving a meal to a homeless person on the corner. Maybe it's paying for somebody's coffee who's standing in line behind you. Maybe it's giving your day. There's a million different ways that you can make that happen. But I think if we all go about the day with that attitude, imagine if we all did that. If we're all trying to make the world a better place daily.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Let's do that. I love it. And I love what you said too. And it doesn't have to involve money either, because it can also just involve a smile or holding the
right.
door open. Like,
Compliment, a nice note, a
totally.
text.
Any of these yummy
Yeah,
things that we can do for each other. So it's like we
totally.
can definitely improve the world each day. And I just love creating that awareness at breakfast. And then you also said, and then at dinner.
Yeah, and then circle back on that and have those conversations or reflect, how did that make me feel to do that? How did I change that person's day or solve that issue? And celebrating the impact that you had.
Totally. I love the celebrating. I love the reflecting. I think, can you imagine, like right now, if we have a million listeners, and oh, it's 2:22 here too.
The
Ooh,
book is still unwritten.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's coming, baby.
yeah,
But can you imagine a million people for 7 days in a row saying yes to, like, how can I make a difference today? And even if they don't do anything, they're going to start thinking about it. And even if one of those 7 days they took action,
yes,
think about that's a million little actions that can trickle through the planet.
absolutely,
You know what I mean? And
totally.
so,
And it is, and there's research that shows that an act of kindness actually increases the happiness levels of everyone who witnesses it. So it really is a snowball effect.
totally.
It's not like I just helped the one person, but maybe other people saw me help that person and that made them feel better too and planted the seed in their minds. And yeah,
Yeah. And that's why all these viral videos are so powerful when you see these acts of kindness of, like, the dude stopping traffic for the granny who's trying to
right,
cross, and it's
right,
like crazy rush hour or something, and everyone's like, yeah, you're awesome, and like millions of people, we are starving for this as a society. And I think, what you're doing is feeding some of that hunger in a beautiful way, and then it feedbacks on itself, because then you're like, well,
right,
that was kind of good. I think I'll do that again tomorrow. Woohoo.
right,
And so developing these young, beautiful souls, to move forward this way is so remarkable and admirable. So yay, I really want to get your message out there to this
you.
beautiful planet. Um,
Thank you.
is there anything else? What are you thankful for right now in this moment, this very moment on 7:23 here?
I'm thankful for my family, my kids, my health, to live in a place that I love, and thankful to be in a season of life where I'm able to pursue this dream of mine, which is, helping kids help the world.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So good. So all you guys out there, think of one thing you're thankful for in this moment. It definitely, doesn't it just shift your vibration? You're like, all
Hmm.
right, I got this.
Yeah,
Everything's okay.
yeah,
You know? So I love this. Any final things you want to share with our beautiful audience about your project and yourself? Where can everybody find you, first of all? And then we'll do a final,
yeah.
tune
So
out.
you can visit us at www.givemyday.com. And it takes just a couple minutes to create a campaign and do this with your kids. You can also pledge your day if your birthday or special day is coming up later. Then we'll send you an email reminder as the date gets closer. So
Awesome. And what about social media?
um, it's Give My Day at Give My Day. Yeah,
Give My Day. Yeah, what a
yeah,
great name too. Like,
yeah.
so, like, okay, straight to the point. It gets to the, yeah,
Well, it's
it's so
kind of
good.
that double entendre too, right? Because you're giving back and you're it's so much can be done in just one day. I mean, you can literally change the world in a day.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. Totally. I
Yeah.
love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So any final parting words for this beautiful audience of ours?
There's a quote that I'm not sure who it's by, but I always just come back to it. You're an ordinary person until the day you realize you can change the world.
Oh,
And I just love that because it's so true, right? Like once you have that belief, you're kind of unstoppable.
totally. Oh, I love it. That is
Yeah.
so good. So, okay, everybody, you guys, I'll have everything in the show notes here. And you guys can go to djvaleriebelove.com/podcast. And then we'll have Brooke's show notes up there when we go live. And you can listen to everything and find out all of her resources and websites and everything and social media. So, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And I already feel like ready to, my kids are upstairs at summer break. I'm like, all right, guys, we're going to go do this for the next holiday and for the next birthday. So we're going to get signed up.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Brooke. And all right, everybody, let's take a big inhale and exhale. Peace out to our beautiful planet. All right. Peace, love, and aloha. Thank you so much, Brooke.
Thank
You're
you so
awesome.
much. It was an honor.
Yay.